Welcome everybody to Windows 3.1 again. So this time we're doing King's Quest VII. Basically, this is the first King's Quest that was made specifically and only for Windows. Only after after this came out that they made a DOS version of this. But
King's Quest
7.
Da, da,
The
da,
King's
Princess
Quest
Bride.
7.
Yes, it's a pun on the Princess Bride, obviously. All right, so let's watch the intro. Why not? Alright, here's one first thing that I think even Teo will at least have to agree. The orchestral score for this game is fucking awesome.
yes.
Did you get a copy? Did you get a Don Bluth movie and put it on here by mistake?
No, remember, Dwibs, this is Sierra trying to be Disney, remember?
Dwibs, save that joke for Dragon's Lair.
Yeah. And here's Rosella, or Disney Rosella, as a lot of fans like to call her.
Well, hey, can she still kick ass like she did in King's Quest 4?
Yeah, she can. She does defeat the villain by the end.
Yes.
Alright then.
Hey guys, guess what?
So in
Rosella
that case,
in
she's
this
sort of
game, guess what, guys? In this game, Rosella is a princess who wants more out of life.
And she has
Just-
only 4 fingers.
Yeah, I never
So
got
she's
that. I never
basically
got why
like-
they give her only 4 fingers in this art style.
Yeah,
So
this is quite a change.
Yeah.
So she's
Basically, while some like me, even don't get me wrong, I don't love this game, but I do like it quite a bit. It's just that I can at least appreciate this game for one thing at least. It's still a King's Quest game at its core when you get right down to it. Yeah, it's changed a lot in terms of tone and atmosphere, but it's still a King's Quest game with a lot of core elements, which is a lot more than I can say for the next game after this.
And to be fair, the tone throughout the King's Quest series has been varied enough that this seems legit and within its range anyway.
And here's what, guys. This is actually the only game in the series where we actually get to play as Valanise. That's right, Graham's wife, who we met in King's Quest 2, and she's going to get her first playing role in this game. First of
Oh,
all-
there's 2 playable characters.
Yes, we have 2 playable characters.
So can you swap between them on the fly, or is it scripted who you play as?
No. Basically, Valanise plays through chapters 1, 3, and 5, and
okay.
Rosella plays through chapters 2, 4, and 6.
Yes.
Who's doing the voices this time?
I don't know because the only voice actor in this cast that I actually know of is Roger Jackson, the guy who did Mojo Jojo and the Pop-Up Girls. But aside from that, all the voice actors are people who I've never heard about since, and I've never heard about these people before. Maureen McVeary, Carol Bach, and Rita. I have no idea who these people are. Okay, basically the story here is Valanise, now that she's old enough, Valanise wants her to marry the prince of a neighboring kingdom so she can have a good life and shit. But Rosella wants to have adventures and shit because, well, she's a Daventry, so obviously adventuring is in her blood. So
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
she's
A
not
flying
listening to you, you know.
seahorse.
She's not listening, you know.
You should turn around.
But you
say-
have to remember, this was back in 1994. You have to remember, seeing this in the PC back in 1994, this was mind-blowing. I mean, this looked
Yes.
amazing for its time. Okay, basically she saw the seahorse thing and she's chasing after it. And guess what? This lake is magical, and it can tell...
Because he has a fucking Stargate.
Yes!
When did this came out the same year as Stargate and all?
There you go. Okay, basically she's about to save Rosella from the lake and shit, but then something happens.
And grab.
It's raping time. Okay, so what happened to Rosella there? Well, we'll have to find out in the next chapter. For now, we're just going to play as Valanise, where she tries to go into the portal and try to somehow save her. So that's it. So start your game.
Yeah.
So name your game. The name of the file doesn't matter. So 1. There you go.
1.
The name of the game
Okay.
is 1.
Okay. So here's the main difference. We can actually choose chapters. We can go straight to chapter 6 and end the game. But for the sake of not spoiling anything, let's just go from the top. Where in the places am
Places
I?
am I?
So, question, Pedro.
Okay. The voice acting in this
Like,
scene
well,
is hilariously bad. Just listen.
My daughter! Rosella! Where are you?
I don't understand. How did you go this bad after King's Quest VI?
And here's another thing, no narration.
Yeah, there's no narration in this game.
Well, so far from this voice acting here, the game could have done with some narration.
What was I going to ask?
Yeah, this game is also trying to be Looney Tunes-esque with the comic relief, for example. So that rabbit is going to be... Okay, so there we go. Okay, so here's the first difference you find. The interface is completely changed. Basically what they did is they streamlined the interface in a way that... this game was actually designed by Lorelei Shannon, the same woman who wrote and designed Phantasmagoria Puzzle of Flesh. So as a result, the interface is basically the same. You click on arrows to go from one screen to another, and every time you get an item, it's right there in the bottom, just like in Phantasmagoria.
So here's my question, Pedro. Does this game follow the tradition of like say having items be used throughout the entire game? Okay, question. I mean,
Yes,
well,
no, the game,
so
the
here's
game,
my
the game at its
question.
core, the game at its core is still a point-and-click adventure game through and through. It's just...
Oh, I get that. My question is like, well, if you get items in a chapter before a chapter, if you skip ahead, do those items carry over, or items automatically in your inventory if you skip to a certain chapter?
Basically, the way... Hold on. Basically, there's salt water, so I have to find a way to get down.
How can I
Yeah, what she's saying.
down there?
Okay, so basically, Jova, the way it works is you can only choose a chapter when you start a new game. You cannot just change chapters mid playthrough. The way it works is if you pick chapter 6, for example, you start the game with every item that you minimally need to complete the game. But however, if you go from chapter 1 all the way until the end, you can indeed get more items and make later chapters a little more easier on you. Yes.
Oh, I get it. Is there also 100% completion ending?
There's
like,
no
a better
point. There's no
good
point
ending?
system. They took away the point system, so there's no point in 100%. Basically, this is mostly this is a more streamlined
King's Quest for beginners.
So what about
pretty much. Which is interesting
endings?
interesting as you say that, because a lot of King's Quest fans actually play this game first. And it is a good introduction because for Sierra Adventure games, because it's very easy for beginners. It's literally impossible. Like, for example, in here you literally cannot die. Just like in Phantasmagoria, if you die, just click try again and you'll be respawned right where you were. Okay,
so I guess she won't be dying for a drink.
No, there's no death puns in this game. I'm guessing they were trying to I'm guessing they were trying to reach a new audience with this one.
Were there any death puns in King's Quest VIII?
No, King's Quest VIII.
At least
I'm guessing King's Quest VIII is the Final Fantasy 13 of the King's Quest franchise.
Except at least Final Fantasy survived 13. 8 was so bad it killed the series.
It killed the series till 2015.
Yes.
Wait,
and
2015?
Pedro, say what you like about the King's Quest 2015, but
no, I like the game. I've gotten further into that game, and I actually quite grown to like it a lot more since my first impressions. Don't worry, I actually really like the game now. Don't worry.
So, wait, hold on, Dwebs. What's this about them killing the series in 2015?
The game 8 came out in 1998.
It was so horrible. Everybody hated it, and it was so bad that it basically killed the series. Basically,
up till the big boom in 2015.
Screw tried to actually fix the problems. There's one thing I'll give the Mega Man X
but there's
series.
also the fact that during development of King's Quest VIII, Sierra was bought out by Activision.
Oh god, it's the Activision buying out.
It's basically the same that what happened to the Ultima series once Origin was bought by EA Games. So.
Yeah, basically.
And Crash Bandicoot when he got bought by Sierra, invested by extension
actually, it was
Activision.
Sierra, the Sierra who made the Crash games is not the same Sierra that made these games. It's a completely different company.
That's why I said, Pedro. It's like, Sierra's technically the one who made the purchase, but by extension, it was Activision who was pulling the strings of the dead.
At least Activision had the decency to just
basically Activision was using Sierra as a scapegoat. Oh, it wasn't us who ruined Crash. It was Sierra, so blame them.
Yeah. Actually, Tio, they didn't keep quiet after Crash of the Titans. They made Mind After Mutant after that, and then they made a few crap mobile games before finally just clamming up about
Crash
Crash.
Boom Bang for the DS?
No, not just that. You remember Crash Nitro Kart 2 on the iOS?
One thing this game does retain from the previous two games: handmade backgrounds, which look gorgeous even to this day. I mean, there's clearly a lot of good artwork being put here. Okay, so here's a tip for a puzzle: deadly water. Okay, does this remind you guys of anything that we've seen before?
Yep.
I think so. So here's a question though I make. Well, okay, so question is there like only one ending in this game then?
There are actually two endings: a bad ending and a good ending.
Okay, is the bad or good ending based on what items you have?
No, the bad ending or good ending is dependent on a certain decision you make at the very end.
Oh, okay, so it's the one end decision as opposed to, the entire game of decisions deciding what happens. Okay.
Basically, this is basically the developers trolling you. No matter which order you pick up the five pots, only the last one is actually pickable. So this is basically the developers trolling you.
So,
it's not cute. It's a box.
So a question: how
much?
much?
Look, we can examine objects in 3D. Check out that 3D.
Wow.
Well, remember this. For the time, this was mind-blowing.
But shouldn't we turn out the Tio as well? Because he was like, yay.
Yeah. Oh, there we go. So, we can examine the basket and find a corn seed in there.
Interesting.
I thought it was like...
Yes, now we can finally summon the great mighty Pooh.
The great mighty Pooh, and I'm going to throw my shit at you.
So, question: how many of the problems would you say could be blamed on Activision buying Sierra?
Pretty much all of them. Basically, when King's Quest VIII was being made throughout development, Activision bought Sierra, and Roberto Williams actually lost a lot of creative control over the game.
Basically, all you can imagine: creating control losses, very small time development, like made this game in like 7 months or something, and usually a forced change of tone.
There you go. Basically, we planted the corn seed, and it magically created a corn thing.
I thought it looks like the King's Quest VIII looks like the beta version of Half-Life.
That's because it's an late 90s PC game. There was a lot of PC games back then. Basically, originally the plan for Roberta had was to literally go back to the King's Quest VI formula with King's Quest VIII. But then Activision told her, no, that's not what's popular anymore. Make an action game.
Hello.
So basically, King's Quest VIII is not a King's Quest. Is a King's Quest game, only a name. Whoa.
It's a jackalope.
Yes, a jackalope.
And yes, people, jackalopes are actually real.
Or do they jump up and laugh at you?
I'm pretty sure they don't do that.
Oh look, let's see. There's a little house here. Let's see.
What's that? Rare curiosities. Yeah, thank you.
Eduardo Rodriguez, Rurat, proprietor.
All right. Let's knock on the door. Why not?
Knock, knock, motherfuckers.
Who's there? Knock, knock.
Oh, hello there.
I love this rat. This rat is one of the best characters in the game.
I am Valanise of Daventry, good
Oh.
But awful rotten jackalope has swiped my glasses. I can't cope. Normally I'd trade with you, but since I'm blind, my day is here.
Okay.
I don't even know what kind of accent was that. Oh, hello there.
There you go. Basically, the jackalope stole the rat's glasses for some.
Oh, fuck you, man.
Of all the rude, inconsiderate.
Most unorthodox. Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, the original internet troll.
Invented by Roberta Williams, Lorelei Shannon, and
Lorelei Shannon.
Lorelei Shannon, and another guy.
Actually, I think...
There was another person who also...
was it Andy
worked on-
Hoyos? I think it was Andy Hoyos.
Andy him, yeah.
Yeah, Andy Hoyos was the director of Phantasmagoria, so it makes sense. Oh, here's one thing. There's a fucking giant scorpion in this temple.
Alright, I'm back.
And
What?
there you go, Jova. Fucking giant scorpion.
Oh boy.
Here's
Sorry
a-
to anyone who has arachnophobia!
Here's one thing though. Even though this game is clearly more lighthearted in tone,
That creep.
this game, believe it or not, actually has the darkest depths in the entire series. Believe it or not. Especially in the land of Ooga Booga,
Wow.
which is basically a land which is basically a land of zombies, where don't worry. When we get to chapter 4, you'll see what I mean.
Is there still humor?
Oh, there's plenty of humor in this game, Jova. It's just more cartoony humor rather than puns.
Oh, good.
Excuse me, sir.
And we found a spirit. This character is literally called the Desert Spirit. So, I love his voice, by the way.
Who's blowing?
Yeah.
Jova.
What do you want?
That's a fan.
I...
Better?
Valanise
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
Daventry,
Yeah.
good sir. I wonder if you
By the
might
way, I
tell
may
me
be
where
a
I
few
am?
seconds behind. What time what are you guys?
16, 28, 29, 30.
Okay, I'm 1646.
Go ahead.
You are surrounded by dust.
By dust.
Isn't that
Alright,
sand?
get ready.
Come.
Okay,
You
and...
are so
click.
pale.
I don't like sand. It gets everywhere and it really... I can't remember the exact quote, but yeah.
Basically, he lost his life. He died at first in this desert. So basically, since he had typical spirit logic where he hasn't finished business, so now he's destined to wander around in the desert with
Is there
first for all
anything I can
eternity.
do?
Could this be one of Graham's many reincarnations that just happened to die for a drink?
The mouth of the great stonehead was closed by an evil enchantress.
Of course, it wouldn't be King's Quest without evil enchanters.
Of course.
But I know not how.
Enjoy the rest of your life as his pet.
Sir,
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Go. This thirst drives me mad, and I know not.
Because I sound so mad.
Well, Dwebs, there's also... Well, to be fair, this game at least has the excuse that it was 1994, back when video game voice acting was still brand new. So at least...
But you had King's Quest VI.
True, I guess.
So how did you manage to go back to King's Quest V levels of bad?
Hey, at least it's not King's Quest free Alex levels of bad.
Did you spend all that money on the animation for this
Probably.
game that you
Probably, yeah.
Probably.
you can only
They-
afford to hire the janitor?
Honestly, while the voice acting isn't as good as King's Quest VI, I'd still say it's pretty good and not as bad as, say, King's Quest III's Alex or...
No, yeah, definitely. If there's one thing I'll definitely give this game in terms of voice acting is that Alexander on King's Quest III is still by far the worst performance in the series, by far.
Even if
And
it is
honest-
just a fan game.
And honestly, I'd say that it's even kind of better than King's Quest V, too, from what I've heard. King Graham aside.
No, definitely. These are actual voice actors, whereas in King's Quest V it was the developers themselves. They're just not very good actors. Except for Roger Jackson, though. Roger Jackson as the free carnivorous plants is fucking awesome. Even you have to agree with that too.
I've heard 8 at least got actual voice actors.
Honestly, 8 was just like King Graham. You must find. I'm not even kidding, Dibs. This is how King Graham sounds in King's Quest 8. You must find the pieces of the Mask of Eternity. So
Yeah.
I'm guessing he's super old or something.
I guess Who voiced him originally?
I don't know. Josh Manuel.
I guess Josh Mandel.
No,
left.
Josh Manuel. By that point, I think was already outside of the company. By that point, I think.
Yeah, he probably already left by that point.
So I'm guessing that the reboot is basically that reboot that always gives the series the good kick in the rear and that it needs to get back on its feet.
It wasn't a reboot. King's Quest VIII was actually a
No. No, Pedro. I'm talking about the reboot that came out this year. I'm saying.
Oh no, definitely. The King's Quest.
What I'm saying is that, like, well, it sounds like the King's Quest reboot this year. It sounds like that. It sounds like that type of reboot that gives the series the kick in the rear that it needs to get back on its feet and proper.
Definitely. Oh, definitely. Even though I still think that the one true developer that could really bring the series back to the full glory is Himalaya Studios, aka the guys who made the free remix we made. And are now an actual professional developer.
That reminds me.
The Odd Gentleman is definitely doing a fantastic job. They're clearly fans of the series, and even though I do have some problems with King's Quest 2015, it's a damn good game on its own right, and it's definitely a much better attempt than what I feared it would probably be in the hands of a professional hands of a mainstream developer. All right,
and
so
if it's like
basically,
they'll probably improve.
So basically, if you read the hieroglyphs in the back of in the bottom of the statue right there, you can see that if you put a hand of corn in the statue's hand, and then you fill it with salt water, and then you cry into the salt water. Basically, she's using the memories of her daughter to make herself sad so she can cry. There you go. Now, doing this, you can magically turn salt water into sweet water.
Yay!
Sweet water? What the heck?
Water that's drinkable.
Wouldn't that be fresh water?
Well,
Lips,
considering this is King's Quest, is this really any less realistic than the other games?
Well, there was kind of some logic. Cheese!
Yeah, cheese to kickstart the fucking one magic transferring machine.
Cheese for everyone!
Like, if there's one thing you cannot throw at this game is, it's the puzzles are logical. Well, yeah, this is the series where we had use a piece of cheese to start a machine. I'm pretty sure we're gonna live through this. Oh, there you go. Basically, what that thing did was, if I put in the free balls in that roll that you're seeing right there in the statue's neck, and I put in the ball down and combined with the moving the head to resemble a sun, then the water disappears for some reason. Basically,
Pedro, a legit question. Aside from King's Quest VI, and of course the fan remakes, which would you say is your favorite King's Quest game?
King's Quest 2. Like, combining the fan remakes,
aside from the fan remakes, I said it's aside from 6 and the fan remakes, it's like, going off of, the original runs, which King's Quest game would you say you like best?
Aside from 6, definitely 5. Because 5 is one of those games that it's so dated, and yet the cheesiness of it is just so awesome. And I think even Teo prefers 5 over 6.
You have expired, yeah.
Basically, 6, even though 6 is undoubtedly the much better game, 5 has a unique charm to it, right, Teo?
Yes, it's so cheesy, it's funny.
Yeah.
Be seeing you.
Okay, so for our first death, she drowned, her disembodied head told you to try again.
Let's not forget the oh so memorable Gay Taylor. Oh, that cloak fits you perfectly.
Yes.
I had to say, so that was quite a first death. She drowned and then her disembodied head tells you to try again.
Yeah.
Yeah, since there's no orator, she has to say...
Okay, so now that I have sweet water, obviously I'm supposed to give it to the spirit. So I'm going back and forth to see if because the spirit basically appears randomly. So basically I'm waiting for the game to decide to make him appear.
You'd think that they would at least have him be there, from the get-go, if he's a story-driven element.
It's not that bad, Jova, because he actually quite appears a lot. In fact, there he is, see? The probability is pretty high. It's just that you have to force it a bit sometimes.
I get that. I mean, why make him a random appearance if, you need him anyway? Unless it's for, an actual timed event. I'm just saying it's it would have made more sense in, say...
Well, you actually don't have... Well, if it makes you feel any better, Jova, you don't have to help the spirit to complete the game. There is an alternate way to get through this chapter. So if it makes you feel any better, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Now it makes more sense. So, do you get any reward for like doing the more kinder stuff then?
Yeah. And even though there's no point system, doing it the more thoughtful way does give you better items. In fact, I'm going to show. In fact, when we get back to kill the scorpion, I'm going to explain exactly how.
So, let me guess, Psycho, based on the items that you have, you could basically have sort of like a different story segment in some ways?
Not so much that, but at best you'll get, story-wise, at best you'll get different dialogue, but mostly it's mostly in terms of getting easier solutions
That
for the puzzles.
walking animation.
Whoa!
Here's the interesting thing. The animation studio who did these animations later went on to do the animations for two Al Lowe's games. Al Lowe is the creator of Leisure Suit Larry, Torrance Passage, and Leisure Suit Larry 7. And the animation in Leisure Suit Larry 7 is actually pretty damn awesome. So I'm guessing they got better by the time we got that game. But oh well, we'll get to that when I do the Leisure Suit Larry games. In fact, I might as well just do the Leisure Suit Larry games after King's Quest, because that's definitely my second favorite.
Well, then again, I'm doing the reboot, so...
I know. I mean, after you finish the reboot, I mean.
Well, it'll be a while, because, you know, we don't know when the other episodes are coming out.
Well, again, the plan is we'll do each episode as it comes out. That's the plan.
Yeah.
There you go. See,
Let's see what's inside.
Basically, as a reward for calming his soul and shit. And now he's gonna depart for the afterlife and shit.
May it help you in your journey.
Oh, I love the music that plays when he departs. Actually, it's pretty good.
Farewell.
There he goes. Okay, so what is this? Let's check. Bug reducing powder. Well, I know what to do with this.
It's amazing. By just looking at it, you can automatically detect it.
Okay, so basically,
the females in the family also have very special eyes too. So let's see, they can
while
swim
Valanise
fast, and they can immediately tell what stuff is from by looking at it.
So yeah, while Valanise is walking to the temple, basically the way it works is you can defeat the scorpion and get past him to enter the temple and solve the puzzle there in two ways. You can either combine the stick and the piece of dress that I have right there, which would be items number 2 and 3 right there from the left that you can see. Basically, if I combine the two, I can make a flag, and I can use the flag to distract the scorpion and have him spike his tail in the wall, and then he can't get out, so I'll have some time to do things. But since I did these things in a more thoughtful way, I got a bug reducing powder that allows me to flat out defeat the scorpion.
Interesting.
So the game does have flexible design. There you go.
That is interesting.
Alright, here we go.
Don't worry, I have my ever convenient device.
Listen. I love the sound he makes. Listen.
Oh, what a pussy.
Like this game still has a good amount of great humor. It's just that it's just in a different tone.
I like it so far. Like I said, the tones between the King's Quest games are varied enough that this seems well legit.
Yeah, the problem with
so how's King's Quest 9 in that regard?
Well, Theo, you haven't been talking that much, so why don't you explain to us why you don't like this game?
It's pretty much due to the lack of narration. It was a staple thing up until now, and the lack of it, and the reducing things. The character still explains sometimes what's going on, but it's so rare. It makes the games eerily silent. It's strange in a bad way. You feel like a bit alienated.
I can understand
At least that's what happened to me. I felt like I was playing a complete different game franchise.
I guess you can look forward to the inevitable fan remake.
I'm guessing you're.
Of course, narration was just an extra thing, like pointing out what was going on, probably sometimes going Captain Obvious, but it was still a defining factor to me. Something that was characteristic of the series.
I'm guessing you're not a fan of the more LucasArts-esque interface.
In regards to there not being narration, I think I can see what they're going for. They're trying to show this as an evolution of sorts, and like, well, where it used to be you needed the narrator constantly, now you're sort of more on your own.
There you go. It's a hunting horn. So there you go. Ha!
There you go.
Joe,
That'll teach him.
you dropped.
Not me.
Not me.
Yeah, whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah, who cares?
I got you, didn't I?
Haha. And guess what? And guess
you
what?
did.
And yes, guess what? A bit.
You dropped the glasses.
And also a bit of fur of his fur on the cactus. It's interesting that I was talking about Jova. That fur that I just cut, that fur will not actually be usable until chapter 5. Oh wait, he dropped. Never mind.
Oh. God damn it.
Glasses.
3D glasses and shit.
Actual not 3D glasses. Glasses in 3D. That's weird.
Jackalope fur.
Yeah, well, I guess that's...
And now we find... Wait. There's something there. But first, here's an interesting thing. We can actually get as many ears of corn from this as we can.
Corn cakes for everyone.
Yes. We've literally just ended world hunger.
Yay!
Let's see what's this.
It's funny, maybe we could have got Shiro in on this or something. I mean, the Disney-esque tone, but...
No. Trust me, Dwebs. I'll cover it fine because I'm a huge fan of Disney and hand-drawn Disney anyway. So I'll be
Gourd
fine.
seed.
Yeah, a gourd seed. Basically, this seed has a purpose for right now, as I'm about to demonstrate. Jova, you back with us? Jova?
Maybe is, maybe not. I try. No, fine. I won't spare you one. Sorry. Oh, fuck you, whatever. Like, don't even try.
Yeah. I have no time for peasant rabbits like you.
So yeah, let's give him his glasses then.
This is all I have to say. Go away, go away!
That rhymes.
Yeah, this is the thing about this rat. This rat is always rhyming.
Oh joy, oh joy!
In typical, very reminiscent of King's Quest VI.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I'm not afraid. Now I'm free to deal and trade.
Awesome.
Woo!
What the heck happened?
So yeah, basically, I can literally show any item I have in this entire game to him, and he'll make a rhyme about it. I'm not even kidding.
Shows me gold.
Really?
Fine.
Yeah, like, I'll try and think of one.
No, thank you.
Skype is shit, as you all know.
You see the light?
Yes, as we can just see
Have you seen it?
a few minutes ago.
Yeah, thank you, Gemma.
Golden hair?
Yeah.
Basically,
Skype?
the main purpose of the calm item is to ask people if they've seen Rosella.
Lady? Sad,
Mhm.
no. But I
Oh,
hear
hold on.
tales from winds that blow from far away, from the west. My sources are the very best. They tell me that the brave troll king has lost his heart and given a ring to a lovely princess he plans to wed. A foreign princess, it is said.
Oh boy.
Basically, they're foreshadowing chapter 2.
Princess? Well, that could be her.
Foreshadowing.
Of all people, she had to get imprisoned by trolls.
Far below.
Yes. Okay, so now let's try out some items to see what he's... Oh, first this one, yeah.
What a lovely wrinkled seed. For that, I'll offer this blue bead.
That sounds like a good deal.
Indeed, might as well.
Is this blue bead?
Now let's try some other items. I think I do try... Oh, no, actually, no, I don't. Because the way I'm going to do it is there's a... Shady Paradox made an awesome compilation video on my request, by the way, of all of the rhymes in this game, including ones that were actually deleted from the final product, but were still left in the game's disc.
When did he do that? Do the compilation?
It was back. Basically, he made a playthrough of it. He made a compilation of the Mockingbird, which is basically a bird that mocks you in this game. Mockingbird, get it? Anyway,
Yes.
anyway, and I was the one who requested, hey, why don't you make a compilation with the rats rhymes and shit? And he actually made it for me, so that's pretty cool.
Nice.
I know, definitely. Shitty Paradox is a really awesome guy. I actually talked to him through YouTube messaging back in the day. He's a really cool guy.
So
Wonder
let's
how he is
see.
nowadays.
No, he's still making videos. He's uploading. He's still making various playthroughs of old PC games.
I wonder if he's
basically
going
the way
to
this
do a
works.
deaf video, the reboot.
Let's do this Indiana Jones style.
Yeah, actually no. Basically, the way it works is the reason he killed me before when I took the piece was because I'm not supposed to just take things from him. I have to do an offer first, and then I can take one. Basically, it's a trade. Because basically, if you listen to what Valanise said when I got killed earlier, she said, and I'm quoting, "Oh dear, I suppose you can't just take things from an offering bowl." It's an offering bowl, but that doesn't mean you can just come and take my things just because it's an offering bowl. All right, there you go.
It's called offering, not pilfering.
All right, now that we've got 2 turquoise pieces that fit together to make that big arrow, now we can officially end chapter 1.
It'd be pretty shitty for public service, you know. You have a bowl where you can just pilfer stuff.
So Pedro, how was King's Quest 9?
You mean the fan-made one? I honestly don't like it very.
Yeah, I already told you, Jova.
Worse than 8.
No, it's not worse than 8. It's at least a King's Quest game, but they went for the. It's basically the Shadow the Hedgehog series in terms of tone. It went dark and gritty because that's awesome. Basically, in an attempt, I guess, to rebel against King's Quest VII. But honestly, I'll still take King's Quest VII over their game any day. But that's
honestly, King's Quest VII.
Salamander.
So yeah, how will Valanise get out of this one? Tune in next time for chapter.
A troll is as a troll does.
Okay, basically, we're not gonna watch a death video in this playthrough. Death videos in this playthrough. I'm gonna show one death that I didn't show off. There you go. This is a death that can happen if you stay here.
Oh boy.
Look at this. And there you go. Her fucking skeleton.
Drinking that water.
You know, for kids.
Yep.
This desert is treacherous.
I know, right?
Treacherous indeed.
So yeah, that's the interesting thing, like I said before, about this game. Even though it's lighthearted in tone, the depths are fucking dark as shit. And there's another one. So here's what happens if we get killed by the scorpion.
Oh boy.
Basically, I'm only going to show deaths that I actually think are worth showing. Because there's no death puns, so no point in doing all of them. Here we go.
Yep.
Ooh.
Oh.
Ouch.
Got to find a way to get rid
Hold
of
on.
that horrible thing. Or at least distract it for a while.
Yeah, distracted for a while. She's referring to that flag method that I talked about earlier. So, pretty cool. So, basically, the death messages tell you hints on how to avoid the specific obstacle that just killed you. Anyway, everybody, that was Chapter 1 of King's Quest VII. Tune in next time for Chapter 2.
See ya.
See ya.
Yeah.
Alright.